Hurricane Melissa. The Caribbean monster awakens. Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to this special weather report. We are witnessing one of the most remarkable and dangerous developments of this hurricane season. Tropical Storm Melissa, currently raging off the coast of the Caribbean Sea. According to meteorological experts, Melissa is not just an ordinary storm. It is accelerating, intensifying, becoming fierce, and could turn into a Category 5 super typhoon within the next 24 hours. On the radar screen, you can see Melissa swirling like a giant vortex, with a tightly wound eye and deep, powerful convection. In just the past 12 hours, thick cloud bands have begun converging around the storm's core circulation, signaling a rapid energy intensification process. Currently, the eye of the storm is slowly moving westward, heading straight toward Jamaica. Forecasts indicate that by tomorrow, Melissa will reach Category 4, with sustained winds of up to 260 kilometers per hour and gusts exceeding 320 kilometers per hour. If the intensity continues to rise, Melissa will become a Category 5 superstorm, the strongest hurricane to make landfall in Jamaica in decades. Jamaica has now issued a nationwide hurricane warning. Airports are preparing to close, and authorities are urging residents to evacuate inland. According to the latest forecast models, Melissa will make direct landfall in Jamaica on Monday and linger over the area for several days, rather than passing quickly like other storms. That means a double disaster: torrential, unrelenting rain, ferocious wind gusts, and widespread flooding and landslides. Meteorologists predict total rainfall could reach 75 to 150 centimeters, equivalent to a month's worth of rain in just a few days. In the eastern mountainous regions of Jamaica, that number could exceed 1,000 millimeters, even reaching up to 1,700 millimeters, an extremely dangerous scenario. If this happens, a series of landslides could bury villages and cut off the entire island nation for days. Hurricane Melissa is not only powerful, but also has the perfect structure of a superstorm. Central pressure has dropped to just 924 millibars, an extremely low figure indicating catastrophic destructive potential. With sustained winds of 260 kilometers per hour and gusts above 320 kilometers per hour, Jamaica could face an unprecedented catastrophe. Trees uprooted, houses flattened, power and communication systems paralyzed, and extensive flooding in low-lying areas. Experts warn, if you are in coastal areas, that is not a safe place. Storm surges could reach 4 to 6 meters, sweeping away everything in their path. Jamaica's mountainous terrain makes prolonged heavy rain a recipe for inevitable landslides. High elevation regions in the east, such as the Blue Mountains, are now under a red alert. Forecast models from both Europe and the United States agree Jamaica will be the epicenter of Melissa's devastation. Cuba, Haiti, and the Bahamas will suffer severe impacts afterward, with rainfall ranging from 200 to 500 millimeters, and some areas reaching up to 1,000 millimeters. If Melissa moves slower than expected, Jamaica could experience prolonged effects lasting up to 7 days, a scenario experts call a meteorological nightmare. The spaghetti models projected storm paths are now nearly identical. Melissa will approach southern Jamaica on Sunday, make official landfall on Monday, then slowly move north, sweeping across Cuba on Tuesday, striking the Bahamas on Wednesday, and exiting the Caribbean Sea by Thursday. However, two scenarios are still being considered. If the storm shifts slightly eastward, its eye will sweep across eastern Jamaica, causing severe damage but shortening its duration over land. If it shifts westward, Jamaica could face a full Category 5 hurricane, lingering longer and doubling rainfall totals. In all cases, Jamaica will suffer severe damage. But the Caribbean is not the only region under Melissa's grip. In North America, Texas and Oklahoma have also endured a string of severe thunderstorms over the past 24 hours. Small tornadoes have appeared in North Texas, causing property damage, and extreme weather is expected to continue today along the Gulf Coast. Meteorologists say this unstable atmospheric system could merge with moisture from Melissa, creating a chain reaction that makes weather across the region, from Florida to Louisiana, extremely dangerous. The Caribbean is not the only area under strain from Melissa. In North America, Texas and Oklahoma have also faced a series of severe thunderstorms over the past 24 hours. Small tornadoes have been reported in North Texas, causing property damage, and harsh weather is expected to persist today along the Gulf Coast. Meteorologists warn that this unstable atmospheric zone could combine with Melissa's moisture to create a chain reaction, making weather from Florida to Louisiana extremely dangerous. Experts caution residents not to underestimate Melissa. This is not just a powerful storm, it is a regional-scale climate disaster. The Jamaican government has ordered mandatory evacuations in eastern coastal regions, particularly Portland, St. Thomas, and Kingston. These areas are expected to experience Category 4 to 5 winds and over 100 centimeters of rainfall. Residents living in high-risk zones are advised to prepare enough food, water, and medicine to last at least 7 days. Cut off electricity when strong wind warnings are issued. Stay away from rivers and low-lying areas. Absolutely avoid going outside when the hurricane makes landfall. If possible, take shelter in sturdy buildings or community centers designated by authorities. When Melissa leaves Jamaica by midweek, Cuba and the Bahamas will be next in its path. Forecasts indicate that Cuba could be hit by a Category 3 or 4 storm, with gusts up to 250 kilometers per hour, while the Bahamas will face huge waves and extreme rainfall. Nations in the region are rushing to deploy rescue teams and emergency reserves. The Haitian government has also issued flood warnings for the southern regions, where rainfall could reach up to 1,000 millimeters. Dear viewers, over the next 5 to 7 days, the entire Caribbean region will face an extraordinarily harsh challenge. Melissa, with its ferocious power, will test the region's disaster response capabilities. We have already witnessed 2 superstorms earlier this year. Fortunately, they missed land. But this time, Melissa will not. This storm could go down in history as one of the worst disasters ever to strike Jamaica. Remember, nature always sends warnings, and early preparation is the key to survival. And perhaps you will want to pay closer attention than ever, because in the next few days, our America will have to face a significant spell of severe weather, with many potential dangers, from thunderstorms, hail, strong winds, to the possibility of tornadoes. Now let's go into detail, starting from today, Saturday. The first area affected is the western part of Mississippi, extending to southeastern Texas, where the National Weather Service has issued an alert for a small risk of severe weather. However, small does not mean safe. Some areas such as Arkansas and even the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area are also within the range that could be impacted. The biggest concern today is damaging winds, accompanied by very large hail, possibly reaching the size of a baseball in the strongest supercells. According to the latest forecast models, isolated supercells may begin to form in the late afternoon and early evening, mainly concentrated along the southeastern Texas region. If you are in an area under a severe thunderstorm warning, please stay away from windows and in the most enclosed safe space possible, because strong gusts of wind and large hail can pose serious danger to both people and property. The risk of tornadoes also cannot be ignored. According to the U.S. Storm Prediction Center, a 5% tornado risk has been recorded from Houston, Texas, to New Orleans, Louisiana. That is a wide stretch along the Gulf Coast. In addition, a 2% risk also covers areas from southwestern Mississippi to central Texas. Although a 5% or 2% number may sound low, in reality, just one tornado can cause extremely serious damage. Therefore, you should always monitor weather alerts and prepare a shelter plan if necessary. Don't forget, there are many ways to receive warnings, from mobile apps, TV, radio, to live broadcast channels. And if there's a live broadcast tonight, you just need to click the bell icon to be notified as soon as the report begins. Moving into Sunday, the threat of severe weather will gradually shift toward the Gulf Coast, focusing mainly from Louisiana to the western Florida region. Here, damaging winds and isolated large hail will be the main weather factors. In addition, there is still a chance of 1 or 2 isolated tornadoes in this area, especially in the afternoon and evening. The most dangerous time in the next 24 hours will fall between late morning and early afternoon today, when the first line of thunderstorms forms and moves across Louisiana and southeastern Texas. If this storm system dissipates quickly, we may witness a second, stronger round of storms appearing in the late afternoon or early evening, particularly in areas near the Gulf of Mexico. Among them, cities like Houston, Galveston, and Corpus Christi may be the ones most strongly affected. Weather models such as HRRR are predicting the appearance of many separate supercells in this region, which means strong gusts, massive hail, and the possibility of tornado formation are entirely possible. By late evening and night, most of these storms are expected to move offshore, carrying the threat of severe weather away from land. On Sunday, the threat will focus on the coastal region, stretching from southeastern Mississippi to Panama City Beach, Florida. Although these storms are forecasted to be less likely to organize into large systems, they can still bring strong winds, intense lightning, and 1 or 2 isolated tornadoes. By late afternoon and early evening, storms will continue to occur sporadically, but overall, there is no sign of a large-scale severe weather outbreak on Sunday. However, today, Saturday, is still considered the day with the highest level of danger. Therefore, our team will wait to decide whether to go live, updating the storm developments in real time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any important information. After this storm system passes, the weather will become calmer for most of the lower 48 states. As we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, forecast models initially suggested that a large-scale storm might form, bringing new severe weather threats. However, the latest data shows that this low-pressure system is weaker than expected, and the trough is not as well organized, so the likelihood of extreme weather is very low. Instead, there may only be a few light showers and thunderstorms, especially in the Dixie Alley region, on Wednesday. From Thursday onward, cold air will begin to surge strongly from the north, gradually moving toward the southeastern United States. This will be the first major cold wave of the season, bringing record low temperatures in some states. Residents in Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas should prepare warm clothing, as nighttime temperatures may drop below the multi-year average, especially on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And as this cold air continues to move southward, many areas in the upper Midwest, and even the northeastern United States, may welcome the first snowflakes of the winter season. That's right, winter is getting very close, just a little over a month away. Below is the temperature trend for the next 7 days. The northeast region continues to maintain below average temperatures. From Tuesday to Wednesday, a strong cold air mass will sweep into the southern plains. By Thursday, the cold air will spread across the entire southeast, bringing frosty mornings and possibly setting new cold records in many places. By the end of next week, this cold air mass will begin to weaken, allowing warmer temperatures to return to the Great Plains, while the East Coast remains colder than usual. As always, we will continue to update the situation in more detail in upcoming videos and reports. Remember, the weather can change quickly, especially during this transitional season. So always be prepared and stay connected to official sources to ensure the safety of you and your family. Sincere thanks to all of you for watching today's weather forecast. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss important updates about storms, tornadoes, and climate trends across the United States. See you again in the next forecast, and remember, never underestimate a cloudy sky, because sometimes just one shift of the wind can make the weather far more intense than you think.